Hello, everyone. Welcome to Court with Krissy. It's not every day that you catch a couple of cult leaders in small claims court, but I did. And the ironic part of it all is just last week, I was listening live as a police raid went down at a couple of twin flame properties. Civil case today, criminal court soon. Perhaps. I'll be watching, and I hope you like it. Court with Krissy is now in session.
There's no camera. I just did phone.
Okay. I'll call the case of Devine versus Ward Eaton.
Yes.
And it looks like we have Jeff Devine and Destiny Devine, and we have a phone number. Is that Ward Eaton? 231. Okay, so Ward Eaton is here. Who's representing Ward Eaton?
Rebecca Whiteford.
Okay, Rebecca, what is your last name?
Whiteford.
Okay, thank you.
White. Yep.
Okay.
I also have Bill Richard with me. He was our driver.
Okay. Okay. So I've read through all the documentation that's been provided. So are the parties ready to proceed?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes.
Okay, we're going to swear all four of you at this time. And I'm going to, after I swear you in, you have to say I do or yes to, to be sworn in. So if you want to raise your right hands. Do you all swear or affirm that the testimony you give in this hearing will be the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Yes.
I do. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Good, thank you. Okay. And so we're going to give both sides a fair chance to be heard. We'll probably go back and forth a number of times if necessary. So, and Mr. Devine, you are the plaintiff. So what do you wish to tell us today in addition to the documents you've already provided?
I believe that the documents provided are comprehensive, and if you like, I can read the introductory statement. If not, then I have nothing to say other than the documents at this time.
Fair enough. I've read your statement, so thank you.
Thank you.
So, okay, and anything in addition that the defendant would like to say at this time by way of introduction?
I think you have our paperwork and everything. You okay?
Okay. Okay. So let me ask the defendant's representative, do you feel you're not responsible for anything relative to this matter?
I feel like we should go through insurance to get it figured out.
Okay. Okay. Well, before we go in any further, I do have to advise you that I'm not sure where that noise is from, but if we could stop it, it would be good.
Yep.
So you had, before you go any further, you had, this is in the small claims division of district court, where you can sue for a counterclaim for more than $7,000. And if you wish, you can remove at this time to the general division of district court. In the general division, you have the right to sue for up to $25,000. You'd have or counterclaim for that amount. You have the right to an attorney. Of course, you have to pay for the attorney. And you have the right to have an appeal. So no matter what I decide today, there's no appellate right. So if either side wishes to, at this time, exercise the right to remove it to the general division, we can do that at this time. Does the plaintiff wish to go forward?
I wish to go forward in this court.
Good. Does the defense wish to go forward?
Yes.
Okay, good. So, I think the defense indicates it should be left to insurance. So what do you mean by that?
Well, I tried to see what we could do to resolve this with insurance, but I could never get insurance information to try to go forward with it.
Okay. So I think that the plaintiff indicated the insurance didn't feel it was covered under their policy. So Mr. Devine, is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
So it seems like if
I
it's a
just, we
towing,
never got a chance. Sorry.
okay. If it's a towing situation, it seems like the towing company would be responsible if there was damage done. No,
Can I have the driver explain what happened?
sure.
Okay, just a moment. Here he is.
My name is
Okay,
William
so-
Richard.
so-
I was the driver.
Okay.
My name is William Richard. I was the driver. And first thing I want to set this, it was not a towing incident, period. There's a difference between certain services. This is a wench out. He tried to go up his driveway that was not plowed. We just got a snowstorm that day. And he had bald tires on his vehicle, and he went off his driveway on a hill. He kept sending down representatives of him or his organization or whatever it was. And I told him that I need to speak with the owner. It was a very precarious situation. And when he did come down, I explained to him all the possibilities of what could go wrong with this, because trying to pull a vehicle down onto a roadway is not a good situation ever. After we agreed to go ahead and try it and see what happens, and letting him know that worst case scenario, he's going to slide into me, because we just can't do anything on snow and ice like that pulling down a hill. And eventually his vehicle did slide into me.
So you told him the vehicle could slide into your truck?
Yes, sir. Yeah, with the situation, trying to pull a vehicle down a hill and onto a driveway or any situation like that, there's always that chance it's going to slide. And that's just one of those things that we cannot control. We cannot control coming down. If I were able to pull him up somehow, then it's a little bit different. But my truck wouldn't even get up the hill. I have a four-wheel drive wrecker, and I couldn't make. Every time I tried, I started sliding down, and the only option at that point was to try to pull him back down.
I mean, would there be an option to wait until there are better conditions? Was that an option?
He did have that option. He could have said that we could have waited. They wanted to get it done and over with, and so we continued with it.
Okay, well, let's go back to Mr. Devine. Mr. Devine, did the truck driver tell you that there was a possibility that this was going to happen, that the vehicle was going to hit the truck?
Yes, we were all aware that this was a difficult tow and this was a possibility.
Okay. And did you have the opportunity to say, don't do it then, or can we wait for better weather?
No, it was a difficult tow, and my vehicle was impeding my driveway, and there were cars at the top of the driveway that would have needed to get down before better weather had happened.
Okay. Do you think that the tow truck driver did anything that was negligent?
I'm not sure if negligent is the word. Maybe a bit hasty in the final pull that led my vehicle to collide with his, but negligent, I'm not sure is the correct word.
Okay. So you needed the vehicle moved because it was blocking other vehicles, so
Yep.
it had to be done in your mind.
Yes, I would have preferred it to be done.
Yeah.
And he did, in the end, achieve that end result, to my gratitude, in some sense.
I understand. I appreciate your honesty. Okay. Anything further that Ward Eden would like to add?
I don't think so. Thank you, though.
Okay. Okay, then back to the plaintiff, Mr. Devine. Anything else you would like to add? I think you have another witness here as well. Anything that she would like to add?
Personally, no. I entrust this case into your very capable hands.
Okay, well, thank you. I hope that they are capable. So. Oh. Well, now, after reviewing the initial filings in this case, I felt that I was going to find Ward Eaton responsible for the claim in part, as far as the damage to the vehicle. No matter what I was going to find, I could not reimburse the plaintiff for their time, plaintiffs for their time.
Okay.
Because in a lawsuit, it's very rare that the plaintiff is reimbursed for the attorney fees. So it's unfortunate, it can be unfortunate, but so that was not an issue. The issue basically is the damage to the vehicle.
Right.
And based upon it happening, I would think that Ward Eaton was negligent, and I was going to find in favor of Ward Eaton. But I think that after Mr. Devine testified, and I, again, very honestly, that under the circumstances, they didn't have much choice but to try to get the vehicle out of where it was blocking other vehicles.
I don't mean to interrupt you. May I?
Sure.
He had an opportunity at the final point to try my vehicle again to see if we could move it out on our own, but he opted to pull it one last time. So there was an option to attempt to drive the vehicle out. It had already moved safely to a certain degree. And then after that point, I had suggested, let's try the vehicle, and he advised that he would just pull one more time, and that's when the vehicle was damaged.
Okay, so are you changing your testimony to say that he was negligent for the last pull then?
Perhaps I'm not clear on the definition of the word negligent that you're using.
Not doing what a reasonably prudent tow truck driver would do under the circumstances.
A reasonably prudent tow truck driver under the circumstances, I believe, would have taken the safer route to try to get the vehicle out first before taking the risk to pull it.
Okay. Well, let's go back to Ward Eaton, and if the truck driver could respond to that.
So where his vehicle was at, it was on a hill, and just below the hill there was a pretty steep ditch with some big rocks there. And in the years that I've been doing this, if I would have not tried to pull it just a little bit more over so that the rear end would face the driveway and get back onto the driveway, we could have had a worse situation with him being on the rocks, or worse, down into the ditch, and there would have been a lot more damage than what was caused at that point.
Okay, so at one point, it's, he said you made one last pull, and that's when the two vehicles made contact. So prior to the last, can you explain why you did the last pull? I think maybe you tried to, but if you could do that again.
There's a couple factors.
Okay.
Yep, there's a couple factors. He had bald tires on the vehicle, and it was still at the rear end of his vehicle, which was pointing down the hill. If I would have kept letting him try to move it himself with bald tires with all-wheel drive, it would have most likely spun him back into the rocks and into the ditch. My experience in doing this in almost 15 years, I've never had an incident, and it's always worked. And I was explaining to the plaintiff the whole time, you know, what we're trying to do, and he was okay with everything. I don't ever try to damage anybody's vehicle because I don't like that, period. I try to treat him with respect and as if it was my own vehicle.
Okay. Fair enough. So anything further from the defense?
I don't think so. Thank you.
Okay. So anything, and then back to the plaintiff. So the truck driver is indicating that the reason he did this. And so do you wish to respond to that?
I do. I don't believe that it was prudent to not at least attempt to move the vehicle on its own rather than make the final pull. I do not believe there was a risk whatsoever based upon the angle of the driveway and the positioning of the vehicle. I think that he was excited because we were close to finishing and wanted to make one last pull to free it. It was a tense moment, and I think that he made a decision out of excitement rather than prudence.
Okay, thank you. Okay, just give me a few moments here, if you would. Okay. In this case, as I indicated initially, I thought that Ward Eaton perhaps was responsible. I find that they are not responsible. I based upon the truck driver's testimony, and he is, I view him as the only expert in the room, based upon the amount of years that he's been a tow truck driver and had to work as far as getting vehicles that were stuck in ice and snow to get safely out of ice and snow. And he did indicate, as the plaintiff testified to, this was a tough tow. And I think he, under the circumstances, I don't find that he did anything negligent or incorrect given the conditions and the desire to get the driveway squared away. I do appreciate the testimony of the plaintiff because I found him to be very honest, and that helped me come to the correct decision. So,
okay.
So I find in favor of Ward Eaton. So basically, it's called no. The term is no cause of action. So the action was not successfully prosecuted today.
Okay.
So I'm sorry to disappoint. I am impressed with your testimony, though. Although sometimes it didn't help.
There is no disappointment. My aim was simply to resolve this matter, and you've helped me do so. And for that, I'm grateful.
Well, thank you, sir. And thank you to Ward Eaton, too. Thanks to both sides. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good to
Thank
go.
you.
Good to go. Okay.
All right. Bye.